Hi everybody, thanks so much for coming back to the channel. Today I'm talking about breastfeeding. Now everybody knows that breastfeeding is very beneficial for the baby and is also beneficial for you to lose weight. For me, the first 2 weeks were the hardest and I had to learn some tips and tricks to make it a little easier. So hopefully that helps you. I'm gonna try to make this video very quick because work is on the floor playing with his toys, so who knows how long he's actually gonna be entertained by that. Number one is take a class or get a support group. And there's many classes out there. You can watch one of my previous videos where I talk about the 4 classes that you should take as a new parent to learn a little bit more. But if you just Google it, breastfeeding class around your area, there's hospitals and groups to support you through your process. In the hospital that I delivered, they actually had lactation consultants that came in if you requested them to look and see if you were doing the right thing and also give you tips and talk to you about breastfeeding. So get the support that you need so you're not trying to figure it out on your own, because there's a lot that goes with the correct latch and the correct positioning and how to keep your supply up and how to make sure that your baby is getting enough. Get some support, go to a class, and you'll be better informed. The other tip is get a pump. It's crucial. I didn't think I was gonna need a pump because I wanted to exclusively breastfeed, but I used this pump so many times during my journey. There were a couple times during this 3 months that I had to solely rely on the pump. One was when we came home and my breast milk hadn't come in, so my son started getting dehydrated and it was kind of an emergency situation. We had to formula feed him, so we used the pump to make sure that my milk was coming in. The other one was when I had a kidney stone recently and I couldn't breastfeed him because I was on narcotics, and so I had to pump and dump while he was being formula fed. So get a pump. The other reason that you should get a pump as well is because sometimes your nipples are so sore and cracked and bleeding and so forth that sometimes you need to pump because it's the correct latch. It's just easier to pump and feed the baby with a bottle. It's also a great way to store your milk, especially if you're going back to work. So get a pump, and if you watch my video on hacks to save money during pregnancy, I'll explain how you can get your pump for free. So watch that video. The other tip is to get some nipple cream, some nipple shields, and also some cooling patches. Now it doesn't work for everybody, so you don't have to get it right away. The nipple cream, I would have it before you deliver, but the patches and the shield, maybe you can buy it afterwards if you need it, or the hospital may provide it to you. The nipple cream will keep your nipple from getting cracked, and also it numbs when it's feeling sore, so I highly recommend that you buy some in advance. And I really like the Medela ones. It's lanolin based and you can breastfeed without having to clean your nipples, and it's wonderful. It's also a very good chapstick if you need some more moisture on your lips. The nipple shield may not work for everybody. It works for me. At the hospital they provided it to me because one of my nipples was inverted and Rourke couldn't latch to it, and so they put the nipple shield on and it makes the baby latch to it better. It didn't work for a very long time. It's a couple days, but it was enough to solve the problem. So the hospital may provide it to you, but if you're not delivering in the hospital, you can buy it as well in the store. And then the third thing is the cooling pad. It's I also use the Medela one. That one is medicated and you do have to wash your breasts before you breastfeed, but it provides such a soothing sensation. You just run it under cold water. It's like a silicone patch and you put it on and it's amazing, and it's great for the first 2 weeks where your nipples are really sore and you just don't want to continue to breastfeed. Rourke is talking a lot in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but he's learning how to cool, so he keeps talking to his toys. The other tip is take care of yourself. You have to come first when it comes to breastfeeding because you need to take care of yourself to be able to take care of your baby. And it's so hard to do that in the first 2 weeks because you're so concentrated in keeping this baby alive and fed and thriving. But you have to remember to drink water, have lots of snacks that are good in fats, and also to sleep as much as you can. The water is really crucial because you need to have the water to be able to produce the milk that you're gonna feed your baby. With that tip, also get the right support. So it's really great if you can take your partner to the breastfeeding class and talk about it before you deliver the baby, so they can support you through the process. It is really hard, guys. It's not that easy. And if you have the support that brings you extra pillows and drinks and snacks, and make sure that your morale is up while you're trying to breastfeed, then your chances of success will increase. All right, for this next tip is get the right support for your boobs. Get the right bra. It's great to have good looking bras and underwires and so forth when you're not pregnant. But once you get pregnant, comfort is key, and after you deliver as well. Maternity bras should be wireless, and believe me, I learned this the wrong way because I bought some underwire bras that were maternity bras that are really painful and cumbersome actually. So get some that are flexible but that provide some good support, that the latches come out easily, and that you're not gonna have to fight with it to be able to feed your baby, especially in public. You don't want to be fumbling with the bra underneath your nursing cover with a hungry baby and just have the worst experience. So get the comfortable ones that provide good support and you'll be better off. Now, some essentials for breastfeeding if you are out in public is to get some shirts that are loose or that have a button down like this one, so you can actually unbutton and then have maybe a tank top or just a bra underneath, but it has easy access for your baby, and again, it's comfortable for you. You're not going to be exposed as much as if you had a tight fitting shirt. I also like to use a nursing cover. It's not for everybody, but I bought one that is like a 4-in-1. It's used as a nursing cover, a car seat cover, a a shopping cart cover, and also as a scarf. And I'll link all the products that I'm talking about below if you want to buy them. And I find that it's very, very convenient to have one product for all of those things, so you don't have to carry like multiple products, and it's also convenient to feed in public. Last thing that you want is to feel uncomfortable feeding your baby in public and get like those nasty stares and so forth. Now, I don't think anybody should be giving you those nasty stares, but people are judgmental, and let's get real, they're gonna give you nasty stares if they don't agree with you breastfeeding in public, and I just don't feel like dealing with it. So I use a nursing cover. The other tip is get some formula. So even if you're planning to exclusively breastfeed every once in a while, you may need to go to formula, and so having the formula in advance of your delivery will save you some time and some headache. As I mentioned, my son was dehydrated. It was an emergency situation when we came home, and we had some free samples of formula because we didn't think we were gonna need it, but we got some free samples, and we ended up using all the formula that we had at the house and having to buy more. So do have the formula, and make sure that you buy the ones that are like already prepared. They're a little bit more expensive, but in a pinch they do great. The alternative to that is to get the dry powder formula and get some distilled water in your pantry, just in case you need it. Another tip is if you like to go travel or hiking like we do, a small baby does not take to the car very well for a long period of time. So one tip that I found that makes it easier if you're breastfeeding is to actually pump the milk and have it in a bottle for the baby, and that way you can feed him or her in the car without having to stop. That worked really well for Rourke on our last road trip, which was to Loveland. We actually gave him the bottle, and then on the way back, because I didn't take my pump, we had to stop and breastfeed, and the bottle worked much better than the breastfeeding parts. I will say that Rourke doesn't have any problems going between the bottle and the breast. So if your baby does have a little bit of an issue with the bottle, then stick with breastfeeding. One more tip for breastfeeding is that change positions in the first few weeks to find the best position that works for you, or to just relieve some of the pressure of one position on the nipple. versus another. My last tip is if you have blocked ducts. I had blocked ducts a few weeks ago and it was really painful, more painful than cracked nipples and bleeding nipples. So it was just like a big lump in my breast that, you know, it just wouldn't come out, and it was really painful to breastfeed and really painful to the touch. What I found for that time to be very effective is some silicone beads that you can warm it up in the microwave and then put it against your breast with a towel or something to protect your skin and have it, you know, unclog the duct for you. The other thing is really hot showers. That will do it too. And massaging while you're breastfeeding. And breastfeeding that side like crazy. Like I was exclusively breastfeeding on that side and pumping the other side just to make sure that Roar could clear the duct out for me. It took a couple days, but then it was clear, and it didn't lead to mastitis or anything else. So those are my tips and tricks for breastfeeding. Leave me comments below if you have any more, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.